this is the presentation for hypertext hierarchy. So for our first project, we have decided to implement a card game interface, more specifically a blackjack game. So our solution was we decided to make a intro page, a title, a description of the rules of the game, along with a link which will take you to the game. We used a blackjack card table as our background to mimic the look and feel of a real casino. We used images of cards and translate and transition them to mimic the dealing of cards. So the card game we chose was blackjack. The goal of blackjack is to beat the dealer's hand. Each player starts with 2 cards. One of the dealer's cards is hidden till the end. To hit is to ask for another card. If you go over 21, you bust and the dealer wins. So for our design, we decided to have an intro page with a link that will take you to the game page. So for our layouts, for the first game intro page, we decided to have a game title at the top, an itemization of the rules below that, and a play now link at the bottom, which will take you to the game page. So once you arrive at the game page, we have the dealer at the top, we have the player at the bottom, we have the cards up in the upper top left-hand corner, and we transition to them both to the dealer and to the player. When the player wins or loses the game, an animation ensues. So the next section is our animations. For our first animation, we had the neon text effects. This was achieved via the use of animation, Moz animation, and WebKit animation to be compliant with both Firefox and Chrome browsers. The keyframe rules specify the animation code. Animation is achieved by gradually transitioning from one CSS style to another. The flickering animation is performed by adjusting the opacity by 2 percentage points in quick succession. Together with the text shadowing and flickering flux animation along with the adjustment of the opacity achieves a really cool effect like a blinking neon sign in a casino. So there are 3 components to the neon flux effect. There's animation, 2 different shadowing text effects, and the flux effect, which makes the color alternate between opacities. So next we have the glowing border box where our rules are. And we did this using box shadowing. And here is the shadowing, the box shadowing. And then we had our hover effect animation, and this is the implementation of the cubic bezier and the glitch before and glitch after. So for the glitch text effects, for links, we decided to try a different effect. We wanted a specific animation to handle links so that when the user hovers over the text to enter the game, the animation is triggered. This is achieved using a glitch effect. The text is transformed and translated 5 pixels between glitches before effect and the glitches after effect. When the user hovers over the text, the cubic bezier is adjusted, creating a blinking glitch hover shadow. The cubic bezier defines a curve along 4 different points. And here is a screenshot of our glitch effects and its implementation. So the next animation we had was the dealing of cards animation. This is the animation to simulate the dealing of cards from the dealer to the player. So to simulate a dealer dealing the deck, we use animations to slowly transform the cards across the screen to distribute to the dealer and the player. The dealer receives 1 card that is up facing and another card that is down facing. The player receives 2 up facing cards. The player chooses to either hit or stay, and cards are dealt accordingly. Finally, when it is determined whether the dealer or the player has won, the appropriate animation will commence. So the next section is testing, and we tested our layouts and animations using 3 different browsers to make sure the animations were compliant. We used Chrome, Firefox, and Explorer, as well as resizing our windows to make sure that the automatic margin property was working properly. So for our bugs, we had to work our way through some bugs, most notable of which was implementing the animations along with the text effects. When we began implementing the UN animations, it conflicted with our card animations. Here you can see that after we added text effects, the cards were misplaced. This is alleviated after we bugged and fixed the margin property. So the next section is our implementation. The team members were Stephanie, Alexandria, James, and Daniel. So for our teamwork, we had intro page, which Daniel and Stephanie worked on, the game page, which James and Alexandria worked on, and the PowerPoint, which Stephanie did. So for our team roles, the leader was Alexandra, the user was Daniel, the tester was James, and the designer is Stephanie, although we all participated in all parts of the design process. And stay tuned for the demo. So here's the demo screen, intro screen, and I did the neon text effects, the glowing border box, and the hover animation for the link.
Hi, I'm Daniel, and I created the animations for text on the title screen using keyframe, and I also used it to time the transition of the text similar to gameplay. For example, it won't let you start playing till you read the rules first, and I also created the hyperlink for the Play Now button.
All right, so hi, my name is James, and I dealt with the win and loss animation as well as the player actions animations. So for me, I dealt with mainly animation delay and duration to match up with Alexandria's card timing.
My name is Alexandria. I created the card transitions using keyframes to move the cards from the top left where the deck is to their respective positions on the board. Once the cards were in position, I used fade transitions to simulate the cards being flipped over. I also use animation delays to ensure the smooth transition between the movements. I created a container for each game and set them to fade out to allow a new container to be shown. This simulated multiple hand/games being played between the dealer and the player. I also created a wrapper to house the game content so that in the case of screen resize, the board remained intact.